Hey guys, welcome to the Working Man Sports Talk, where we like to talk to other men about sports. And if you're not a man, who cares? Today, we want to talk about college football and the closing days. Big shout out to Ohio State for winning the national championship and for coming up big. Anyone who doubted them, well, now let the naysayers know. But today's video, I said we want to give a shout out to Ohio State because since college football is coming to an end, but we want to talk about quarterbacks that are going into the draft. And the stock rise and the stock drops. Alrighty. First off, I want to go over to, let's see here. We'll start at, where do we want to start? I'm going to start at, Riley Leonard. We'll start there. Riley Leonard. I think his stock went up, especially how he performed within the playoffs, especially that last game in the second half against Ohio State. I feel like his stock went up. Do I think he'll be a first, second, or third round pick? No, I think he'll be in the later rounds, maybe like a fifth, sixth. I mean, maybe shooting at a fifth. I think he'll be a sixth or a seventh. That's just me. Yeah. Jackson Dart. That's my other quarterback that I want to talk about. I think his stock is rising. I think it's rising. He had a really good season. I feel like he is probably a top 3 quarterback going into the draft. I can see him going in late first, early second. He's just that type of guy. Now, I know a lot of people didn't have this guy going up, but I feel like the way how he's been playing the second half of the season, and especially going through the whole college football tournament, Will Howard. Will Howard was the guy who was on a mission. He has something to prove, and guess what? I feel like he proved it. I feel like his stock rised big time. I think you can easily. He reminds me of a Josh Allen. I feel like you can easily pick him in a second or third round pick. He has a big arm. He has a vision. He has a size. I think overall he could just, and you call me biased because Ohio State is the college that I root for. So I feel like Will Howard's stock has actually went up tremendously. Dillon Gabriel, I feel like he had a really great season with Oregon over there. I feel like his stock doesn't drop or doesn't go up. I feel like it kind of stays the same. Where he can get him in that second or third round. The only thing that he has going against him is his height, but who knows, he could turn out being a Russell Wilson type of player. So we have that. Kyle McCord, I feel like his stock rise coming from Ohio State and then going to Syracuse. I think he had a really good season. He proved a lot to himself that's coming out there, but I see him being back there with like a Riley Leonard type deal and getting drafted in the later rounds. Quinn Ewers. Now, this is stuff start getting a little bit tricky. I feel like Quinn Ewers. I know everyone said he had a good year, but it wasn't Quinn Ewers from last year. I feel like his stock drops. There's sometimes he just looks shaky out there. He didn't look confident with himself. He didn't look confident within his team. Therefore, I feel like his stock just kind of drops. I know he dealt through a lot of injuries. I feel like that's another thing. I know that you can't really hold that against someone, but when you're investing in something, investing in a player, I feel like there's some stuff you do have to look out for. So Quinn Ewers, I feel like his stock drops on that. Another quarterback that I feel like a stock drops is Jalen Milroe. Jalen Milroe, at the beginning of the season, I felt like I even bought in on it. I was like, hey, this guy could actually come out being a top 1-2 quarterback going into this next coming draft coming up, the 2025 drafts. And I thought he was looking great. And then the back end of the season, everything just fell apart for him. I mean, it looks bad. It looks really bad. I mean, I'll pick Quinn Ewers over Jalen Milroe. I would even pick Will Howard and Dillon Gabriel over Jalen Milroe the way how he ended the season, because that was just god awful. Hopefully he can show something within the combine Hopefully he does throw in the combine. I feel like he needs to. Um, but yeah, I feel like his stock drops. Cam Ward. I don't know if his stock drops or just stays the same for when he pulled that stunt of him pulling himself out of that game in the bowl game, because it's like we want to see you play more, but he went out and dominated in that first half. So like, can you be mad at the kid for dropping out? Or I'm not dropping out, but getting out of the game and say, hey, I want to save myself for the pros? Because I feel like he did tremendously great out there in his last bowl game and the whole season. So yeah, I mean, Cam Ward, I feel like he has a height, he has a built size, he has a pocket presence. You know what? I'm gonna say his stock rises. His stock rises. His stock is going all the way to the top. That is a guy right there that is going to be in the top 5 draft picks. And last but not least, Shedeur Sanders. That last bowl game, that was a rough game to watch. But I feel like it was all a team effort type deal, where I feel like you didn't see Shedeur lose it with his team. Like, he didn't look shaky with his team. He came out there, he stayed composed throughout the whole game, even though he was getting his ass beat. And his team was getting their ass beat. But he stayed composed, he stuck through it, played out the whole game. It wasn't the best look at all. I know that Pio says, it's not how you start, but it's how you finish. But throughout the whole game, it was just god awful to watch. I mean, I know I stopped watching it there after a while. But I feel like with him finishing that game and him not pulling himself out like Cam Ward did, I feel like his stock stays the same. I still feel like he has that potential to be a top 5 pick. With that being said, some people are just going to disagree with me. And I feel like I said before, those teams that need a quarterback are those top 3 teams that have those draft picks, and that's what? Titans, Cleveland, and Giants. So, I mean, you have 3 quarterbacks here that you can easily go 1-2 or 1-1-3 or 2-3 or so. But yeah, that's all I have to say about the quarterbacks and their stock rising and dropping. Like I said though before, shout out to the Ohio State for getting the W, bringing the championship. Until next time, guys, have a great week and peace.